Hi YouTube, we're back with another multiplayer sandbox session with Ellias. In the last video, we finalized the production of tools, and the city grew to the next level. All the buildings were stable, showing that the production of food, furniture, and tools was well balanced. Now, we can move on to the next resource. I am currently placing the precious stone mines to begin harvesting gems. I know Ellias is setting up industries for jewelry production. He will soon need this new resource. I always have to stay one step ahead of him, or I'm sure he'll scold me. By the way, don't pay too much attention to what I'm doing. I messed up my calculations. I thought the mines were bigger. I was off by one tile. So, to make it look nicer, I fixed everything. As usual, I place a maintenance building to take care of these industries and a warehouse where Elias traders can collect gemstones and deliver them to the crafters. Now that everything is properly set up, we can think about the next steps. I'd like to quickly emphasize that miners need a path to access the minerals. This is extremely important. Without it, you won't have any resource production. Since the production of gemstones is slow, I prefer to place more mines directly. I might have to do the same for gold. Not all houses have received tools yet. It seems like many are still missing. However, there is a bit of stock available at the markets and a tiny amount in the production area. The black smoke above the industries shows whether they are operating. It looks like about half of them are at a standstill. They lack iron ingots. Elias will have to find a way to improve their production if we want all the houses to have tools. That said, we can always choose to restrict a residential district from accessing tools, keeping it at a lower level. This way, we prioritize another district to ensure its successful development. This strategy is particularly relevant for higher-tier resources like jewelry, candles, or wine. When houses reach this level of demand, the population increase from leveling up doesn't provide enough workers to meet resource production needs. It's therefore necessary to always keep some houses at lower levels to ensure access to affordable labor. Why bother leveling up houses in that case? Once you see the taxes paid by wealthy houses, you'll understand why managing the treasury will no longer be an issue. Money will flow abundantly into your state's coffers, allowing you to undertake the most extravagant projects. In this Let's Play, we focused on building a city, particularly on production and economy. Therefore, I didn't have the chance to show you certain aspects of the game, such as mythology and the military. These elements will be covered in future videos. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more about how the game works. I think the southern districts will run out of resources, and a single market won't be enough to deliver all the tools that will soon be needed by so many houses. After some thought, I've decided to place it near the furniture industries. This way, it can still collect tools from my warehouse, and I won't have to destroy the garden. I really love the design of the markets. The fact that the road passes through the center of the building gives them a little something extra. Looking at how we've built our city, I can see that this unique feature hasn't been used to its full potential. I'm sure you have some great ideas to improve the city's design. As for me, I already have one, and I can't wait to try it out. Did you see that? The houses have downgraded. They've returned to the stage where they need furniture. I really tried to give each house level a distinctive look so it's easy to identify what they're missing at a glance, and I think I've done a pretty good job. Looking at the market's information, it's clear that it's completely empty. They have absolutely nothing to distribute. I should check what's happening with furniture production instead of immediately blaming Elias for not producing enough. You never know, there could always be a surprise waiting. Anyway, that's not what I did. I focused more on tools. You can see that Elias' warehouses are full. I'm going to add more exchange centers to increase collection. If I can't achieve smooth logistics, I'll ask Elias to move the resources with a caravanserai. That would be much more efficient. Exchange centers weren't designed to meet the demands of multiple players, only the one who owns them. I hope you're not too bothered by the fact that my town hall isn't right next to the road. Now that I've noticed it, I can't stop thinking about how awful it is that I did something like that. Elias has started producing candles. It's great that he's begun producing a bit of each resource. However, he made a mistake when connecting his industries. One of my mines is blocking the path. Even if his road touches my warehouse, it doesn't automatically make it an access point for the building. Buildings determine their entry point with the road as soon as they're placed. There are cases where this entry point can be adjusted, such as by destroying a road or placing a roadblock, but generally, it doesn't happen. In single player, the entry point might change after loading a save, but since there are no saves in multiplayer, this isn't an issue. That said, let me quickly go back to the fact that a building's entry point cannot be on an obstacle, such as a gate or a roadblock. This might explain why you see the "No Road Access" icon, even though a road is present but not accessible. I realize I'll also need to explain why candles are made from gemstones. But I'll save that for a future video. For now, I'll wait for candle production to start. I need to check on how jewelry production is going. It looks like the first warehouse is starting to fill up. I'll need to set up the logistics to bring all of that back to our city. If I were clever, I'd reuse the exchange centers I've already built and have them fetch jewelry in addition to tools. Doing this wouldn't disrupt the collection of tools by my merchants at all. On the contrary, it would slightly optimize their usage, as they'd send out merchants for both tools and jewelry simultaneously. But I'm not very clever, and I wanted to show you a new technique. That's why I started by creating a long road connecting the industries to the city. This way, I can use carriers, who require roads to travel, instead of merchants who can walk across open fields. You might have guessed it, I'm going to use a caravanserai to move the resources this time. Caravanserais are designed to transfer larger quantities of resources from one warehouse to another. While you can technically force a warehouse to send a courier to collect resources by applying the store command, warehouses have far fewer couriers compared to a caravanserai. This makes a caravanserai by far the best option for transporting resources over long distances, as in this case. Keep in mind that a caravanserai is limited to transporting only the resources you've selected, and it operates exclusively between the two warehouses you've chosen. Before showing you how I configure the caravanserai, I'm setting up all the necessary elements for the logistics. I placed an exchange center near Elias' jewelry warehouses so the merchants can quickly shuttle back and forth. I also set up a buffer warehouse nearby to minimize the courier's travel distance. Lastly, I placed a dedicated warehouse near the city to receive the jewelry. I make sure to configure the warehouse so that it only accepts jewelry, and that's it. We're good to go. To configure a caravanserai, I start by selecting the warehouse where the products will be picked up. That's easy, it's right next to me. Then I choose the warehouse where the products will be dropped off. Since it's far, I have to move to select it. I can speed up the process by selecting the approximate location of the warehouse on the minimap, which saves me quite a bit of time. After that, I don't forget to specify the type of product that needs to be moved, and everything is ready to start the transfer. I did the same with a second caravanserai to ensure that there's never too much stock in my buffer warehouse. Well, it's time to focus on the furniture production issues. There still isn't enough available for the houses. Elias, you need to add exchange centers to buy more wood and do it faster. Right now, half of your businesses are at a standstill. How do I know? It's simple. You see the little character looking off into the distance in front of your industries? That's a sign that they don't have enough resources to start production. What? You decided to add more furniture businesses? Well, it's up to you. But you're still going to need wood. Even though I don't have a critical labor shortage, it's always better to configure your workforce allocation. For that, I can set priorities based on the domain. The closer the number is to 1, the more the related domain will receive workforce in case of a shortage. I like to make sure that security is always top priority to avoid fires and epidemics. I often set distribution as second priority to ensure that houses are always supplied through a market. Then, I place industries after that. But everyone can do it their own way. In any case, it's a good idea to anticipate when your city will be short on workers. In my case, I'm currently missing 230 employees. Once the furniture production picks up, things will improve. It looks like candle production has started. I can now set up the logistics to bring it into the city. I'll do exactly the same as with the jewelry. Seems like a good approach. But looking at the images again, I'm thinking I really should have reused the exchange centers I placed for the tools. It's a shame to waste labor when I'm already short on workers. We still don't have any stock for the furniture, yet it seems like the houses aren't running out. It looks like they're being consumed as quickly as they're produced. I don't know about you, but I really enjoy watching a city evolve. It's always nice, and in multiplayer, there's more color and more challenge, so it's even better. Let's not kid ourselves, building a city like this with 2 players is definitely harder than doing it alone. But that's what makes the games so dynamic. I'm really looking forward to showing you the other house levels. I'm going to place a luxury market. It will allow me to distribute the jewelry and candles that are starting to accumulate in the warehouses. Just give me a moment to reposition some decorations, and then we'll continue with the next steps. Do you see that graphical bug on the town hall? There's a section of the wall that's not showing up. I swear, it's not always easy to make a video game. I've probably placed this building dozens of times, and I never noticed there was an error. But now, as I'm recording my first video to talk about the game, there it is, all cute, as if to remind me that it needs to be fixed for the next version. Which, by the way, is already done. As you can see, all of my buildings are starting to seriously lack workforce. When this icon appears, it's not a good sign. Since the buildings are missing workers, they're not operating at their full potential. We'll need to fix this. This is where I'll leave you before we start something new or I show you the bugs we encountered. Hope you enjoyed and see you next time.